Hi, I want to talk about asking questions. And questions are important because they help us get to know people, they help us to collect information and to understand things. And so it is important to know how to make good questions. And we're going to talk about some types of questions that are going to be useful for us to get to know people better, to understand them, and to collect information. Asking questions goes hand in hand with listening. It's completely useless to ask the best questions ever if you're not going to listen for the answer. There's this article, 166 Conversation Starters for Virtually Any Situation by A.J. Frost, in which he mentions a few simple but yet effective types of questions to start a conversation. The first one is open-ended questions. Try to avoid questions that can be answered with a simple yes or no. Ask questions that would lead to a conversation, a discussion, or analysis on any subject, but try to make open-ended questions. Non-routine questions. The idea here is to take people out of autopilot. So try to avoid speaking about the weather or about work. Ask things about other people's interests, hobbies, concerns, if you will, but try to avoid speaking about the routine. Professional questions. It has to do with context. Some topics are more suited for your friends and for acquaintances than for strangers. The idea here is to avoid making people feel uncomfortable with your questions. That's a big don't. And relevant questions. If you can start a conversation about something timely or specific, such as your location, event, industry, jobs, here is where you ask for specific things that you need to know and are relevant for the conversation you are holding. There's this other article that I want to talk about, which is called Developing Listening Skills by Michael Iriga, and I like it because he uses an acronym with the word clear to describe what a good listener should do. C for commit to listening. Avoid distractions, focus on the other person. Listen and listen carefully. We always tend to summarize what we're being told, and we don't have to summarize, we have to pay attention. Evaluate what is said. Again, it's not about summarizing, it's about understanding and understanding what the other person is not just telling us, but also what that represents to that person. Acknowledge and paraphrase. This is something I used a lot as a full-time missionary. Paraphrase what you are being told. That is useful to show that you understood what you have been told. Then respond and test. You answer questions and then you confirm that you understood correctly what you have been told, the questions and the answers that you have been given. In Preach My Gospel, in chapter 10, there are these words by Elder Jeffrey R. Holland that I really loved. More important than speaking is listening. Ask your friends what matters most to them. What do they cherish? What do they hold dear? And then listen. If the setting is right, you might ask what their fears are, what they yearn for, or what they feel is missing in their lives. I promise you, he said, that something in what they say will always highlight the truth of the gospel about which you can bear testimony and about which you can offer them more. If we listen with love, we won't need to wonder what to say. It will be given to us by the Spirit and by our friends. So here it is. I hope you find this helpful and put it in practice.